Hello, hi, hello. Right, first thing you're gonna need. A reference drawing. You're gonna need a reference drawing. It doesn't matter if it doesn't look like it in the end, because mine never do. Because usually I'll think of something midway through and I'll just add it. I'll just add it. But like, if you want it to look like it, you just gotta like stick to your reference. But I usually don't. Anywho, next thing you'll need is a mask. Mine is still printing, so it's gonna take 4 hours! But that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna be patient. Okay, here's my mask. It finally got done printing. And it actually broke, but I just glued it back. We're gonna ignore that. And anywho. Okay, so what you're gonna wanna do is first look at your reference drawing and see how you're gonna need to cut it. And if it's a canine, I suggest cutting off the mouth because it just makes it more comfortable. Kind of like that. And try and leave some more of the nose bridge because it makes it more sturdy. And then for the eyes, get a piece of paper and it's kind of hard to do. First, trace around the eye, put it up to a light so you can see better. That's about where the eye is. And this one has really big eyes. So I'm just gonna give it some big old eyes. Now cut that out. Don't be afraid to modify it. I modified mine some after I cut it out, and this is what I came up with. Now line up the eye drawing with the actual eye hole and use masking tape to tape it there. Now you can outline it on eye, and then to do the other one, you just flip it over and do the same thing. Now just take off the ears. I like to do just squared because I keep the ears and use them as little paint pellets. It's resourceful, don't judge me. Now just cut everything off. And it should look something like this. Now, to close up these holes, I highly suggest using foam, like a thin 88, hold on, let me try to see. I highly suggest using foam like this, but I'm out right now, so I'm gonna use cardboard. And cardboard works perfectly fine if you're like more so on a budget. So you're just gonna trace the ear shape and then cut it out. And make sure to leave some extra on the top. Just like that, and cut it out. And don't worry about it being perfect. Now just glue, oh, I dropped it. Now just glue along the edges and stick it in there. And it should look something like this. And then you're just gonna kind of like do a thin layer on the top and bottom to kind of make sure it's gonna stay there. An easier way is to, oops, I'm out of glue. An easier way is just to like do a good bit of glue on here and then wait a second for it to dry just a little bit, just so you won't burn your finger. And then just smear it so that way it's flat. But please make sure to be careful if you do it this way, because like you don't want to accidentally burn yourself. So be careful. Now that you've done that to the top and the bottom, I just did that backwards, but whatever. Just cut off this little piece and try and curve with it instead of just instead of just cutting it straight off, so it kind of lines up with the rest of it. The glue's not dry. But yeah, then just do that on the other side. It looks something like this when you're done. As for the snout, this is the pattern I use. I'm just gonna show it to you because I have a whole pattern. I have a whole video for making the muzzle. So if you want more in detail, then go watch that video. If you're using cardboard, go ahead and like bend it up so it's easier to like work with. But again, I highly suggest using foam if you can. Once you glue it, it should look like this. And you can cut this little piece to be like a little more of a mouth shape, kind of like this. Now just glue it on. And once you glue it on, you can just cut off the extra. Now to make the nose bridge, I usually use air dry clay. You can just get the stuff from the dollar store, which is fine. Or you can use this, which is moldable plastic. But for this one, I'm going to use foam, which all three methods work just as good. The moldable plastic will be a little tougher. The foam's gonna be squishy, and the air dry clay is gonna be, honestly, I suggest that one out of all of them, but I don't have any. I'm gonna take a strip and glue it on there. And I don't really know how to explain this part, but just, you know, shape it to however you want it to be. I'm not very good at explaining this part, but yeah, just shape it with scissors. Now just do the same for right here. Just glue a chunk on there and shape it. And now you should have something like this. For the felting, cut a piece. Well, first off, I use fleece and make sure the woolly side is down. And second, make sure you cut a piece big enough to cover the whole mask. And I like to start gluing on the nose. And from there, just kind of pull it to where it's not wrinkling. And I glue like from middle outwards, if that helps. When you get to the nose, put some on the sides and then put a good bit in the middle. Now take the fabric and kind of make a crease right down the center. Just like this. And then cut it off. You should probably wait till the glue's dry to cut it off. But it's fine. And it should look something like that. Don't worry, this little bit will be covered up by the nose. Now that you have it all glued down, just cut a little rim all the way around the edge. Now just glue and fold it down. Just like that. Now for the eyes, just cut slits until they lay flat down, so you can get them to lay down. Like for this one, it won't lay flat, so I'm gonna cut another slit right here, just like that, and then you're just gonna glue them to the inside. And now you have a base. And now it's painting time. I can't really help much on this because you kind of just go off your own design. But I use folk art paint. You can also use apple barrel paint. They both work just the same in my opinion. But yeah. For the ears, it's gonna be very different depending on what animal you're doing. I'm doing a fox, so I'm gonna have pointier ears. It also really depends on your style, but pretty much you just put a piece of paper behind it and just sketch out what kind of ear shape you want until it looks good to you. This is what I settled on for this specific one. I'll trace this and cut another one out. Cut these parts out. Forget to label everything. Cut these out of foam. Well, I suggest foam, but if you're using cardboard, that's fine too. Just cut these pieces out twice. Now you can put it up against the mask and make sure you like it. If you do, then you can start gluing all the pieces together. Now for felting, I don't really know how to explain how I felt ears. I'm just gonna let you watch. Now just paint them. Now for the nose, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it, but a lot of times I sculpt mine. I 3D print my noses, and this is the nose I usually use. Oops. Which would work, but I'm gonna sculpt this one, and I'm gonna use multiple plastic pellets, but you can also use air dry clay. Now that you have your nose sculpted, you can paint it. This is another optional part, but I'm gonna go over it with some glossy Mod Podge to make the nose shiny. Oops. Don't be scared if it looks like this because it's gonna dry clear. And now you can glue your nose on. Now for the eyes, there's a bunch of different materials you can use for the eyes. I like using this one. It's like, I don't know, I think it said 5mm. I got it off of Amazon. But it comes in white and black. I usually use white if I want the eye to have a design, and if I just want normal eyes, I use the black, just like that, and then I'll put shinies on it. But for this one, I'm gonna do designs on the eyes. I suggest getting a piece of paper and marking how big the eye is, so that way you know when you're painting it, and you know like how big to make it and where to position the pupil and stuff. But that's only if you're actually doing a design. You don't have to. I just have it laid under my mesh so I can roughly see how big it needs to be while I'm painting. When you're painting the eyes, make sure you only have a little bit of paint on your brush so you don't fill in the holes. Don't forget to paint the back black. These little sponges work good for that. Now just do the other eye. Once you have both the eyes painted, you can go ahead and glue them in, but be careful to make sure that they're centered correctly. Now you can add some eye shiny. Now you can fur it. If you have to color your fur, I either suggest alcohol markers or an airbrush. Those two work the best. I actually decided I'm not going to add any fur to this one because I like the way it looks without it. But you pretty much just like glue it wherever you want, usually on the cheeks, or add like a little fluff. If you want to add the fluff in the middle of the head, take a long piece and then just roll it and glue it like that. And then just like that. That's how I do it. And then you also add some to the tip of the ears or like inside the ears. But yeah. For the elastic, put the mask up to your face and just wrap the elastic around your head. Well, put the mask up to your face and get a feel of where the ends of the mask are. And then slightly stretch the elastic around your head to where it's touching those points and cut there. Now just glue the piece of elastic to the corners of the mask. Now wait for the glue to dry and put it on and make sure it fits you right. You might have to adjust it a couple times. I changed my mind about the fur again, but when you go to do the lining, fold the elastic over so it's on this side, so that way it's out your way and you can work better. If you want some extra padding, you can take some fleece and glue it like right here and leave this spot open. Now just like cut off the excess. Now take some stuffing and fill it up. Just like that. Now do the same on the other side and the forehead. This is kind of how it will look when you're done. For the lining, I use black fleece and just kind of cut a square big enough to cover everything. First, glue around the eye, just one eye. Once you have that one glued down, glue around the other one. Now glue like across the forehead, but like just the rim. You don't have to worry about like the inside. Now just glue it on one ear at a time. Make sure you don't go all the way to the edge on the ear or you'll be able to see it on the other side. Now you can glue on the sides. It's hard for me to explain this part, but when you put it in the muzzle, it's gonna have this fold right here. You're just gonna fold it like again towards the muzzle. It's gonna be a little wrinkly, but like it shouldn't look bad or anything. Just look like that. But after that, you're gonna like glue the fabric to the inside and you have another crease right here and then glue it along the edges. Now just cut along the edges where it's glued. Now after you cut up all the edges off, kind of lift up the fabric in the eyes and take your scissors and cut, and then cut around the edges. And now you're done.